Hello and welcome to my second tutorial for making Conway'y's Game of Life in Blender. So, in the last tutorial I showed you how you can make this node group here that's basically used for making the game rules. It was just this setup here, looks a little bit complex, but yeah, I explained everything. And we also made this noise circle that we actually use here as our starter pattern, as you can see. But maybe we actually want to use some cooler patterns because this is just going to give us random results. So I actually found a really cool technique how you can use image textures from a screenshot to get any cool starter pattern. And we actually, to make this, have to store the attribute again. Just make sure it's a boolean, it's on the faces, and it has the same name. And we get the image texture node. Let's actually connect the color output to the selection and check this value. So every white part of the image is going to select that face and it's going to give it an alive value. So now we also need a position node and a vector math node, and this is just to position the image correctly because it's not going to appear in the center right away. So you just add 0.5 to the position, plug that into the vector, and then it should work. So let's make a group for this. And we call it, this is basically a selection via image. So now we actually need to get an image. Oh, and there's one thing. Yeah, we can also set this up later, but maybe just so we don't forget, we can do this now. Set the image texture to use this mode, the closest mode, and also clipping. And yeah, now let's get an image. If we go on this website, I'm gonna give you the link in the description. You can get some really cool patterns here because, as you can see, there are a lot of categories and there's lots of stuff. If you just click through there are smaller ones, there's like really huge patterns and they behave really cool. But let's, for the tutorial, start with a simpler one. This is also pretty cool. The pattern is pretty small in the beginning, but it's going to grow. So let's use that. Let's actually go back to the start and you click Fit Pattern and you disable the grid if it's not disabled already, because that way we can get a better image. So take a screenshot, then we have to edit it a little bit, because right now you can see every cell of the pattern has a size of 4x4 pixels, including this gap. So we have to actually scale the image down so every cell is just 1 pixel. And to do that, we actually just have to divide the size by 4. So if you size the image correctly, right now we have HD format, and we divide that by 4, we get 480 pixel width. And what's one thing that you have to make sure is use this nearest neighboring sampling technique. So just to make sure your pixels don't get blurred, and because if we use a different one, it's not going to select the cells properly. But this way, the pixels just stay perfectly. And now it's actually the right size. So what we have to do, because this is not black and white, get rid of the background stuff, and we have to make it black and white actually. So maybe get a curve here and increase the contrast. Yeah. And we can also adjust the canvas size to be the size of our grid. So for this pattern, I think grid of 500 by 500 should be enough. And we can position our pattern. Yeah, just like that. And now we can export the image. Use this save for web export method, because here we also have to make sure to use this nearest neighboring sampling technique, because it's preventing the blurring. And yeah, you can set it up like I did here with only 2 colors, PNG, and yeah, that's basically it. You save it somewhere, call it start pattern or something like that. And now you can actually use it in our group here. We open up the image, and it's not looking correctly, but that's because we haven't set the resolution of our grid correctly. And if we now get the 500 in here, it's the same size as our image, and now it looks correct. And now we can actually just hit play. Wait, let me actually adjust that. And you can see, if you didn't lose any of the pixels and your image wasn't blurred, then it just works. So yeah, that's the way how you get really cool patterns. But yeah, if you like interested in knowing how to make this even cooler with some materials, then maybe also watch the next video, because I'm going to show you how you can get a really cool shader for this. But yeah, for this tutorial, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it, and goodbye.